Monday, April 8th, 2024. It's been a week since I've done a daily stand up update, whatever you want to call it. Uh, and it's mostly because a week ago, Friday, I came home from watching the new Godzilla Kong New Empire movie, which is a perfectly fun film, to find two quad cab trucks and a car parked in my yard. Which, if you want to see pictures of what I'm talking about, I'll put those up on my own space. And I asked the guys that because it was a tree company that was moving or taking down a tree from one of my neighbor's yards. And it's a weird hill to die on. I understand, but I don't like people parking in my yard without like one asking for permission, or like why would you park in someone else's yard anyways? Like, just don't do that. Like that's being bad neighbors. And I can't imagine why a company would allow two of their employees to park their trucks in neighbors' yards. So, anyways, I asked them to move the cars. They moved just the car because they said they didn't understand I wanted the trucks moved too. So I said, okay, well, let's get these trucks moved. And the TLDR of the whole thing is that I ultimately ended up having to call the cops on them. And the cops came out and had to move their vehicles off the property. But after all that was done, uh, I decided that like I just don't want to deal with this ever again. And that the grass that I was growing on that side of the house just wasn't going to happen. Because it's on the north side of my property, and it's hidden behind a fence. And on top of the fence, there's a bunch of bushes that grow up over the fence. So you like, there's no light that actually hits over there. Like, there's light, but there's like no direct sunlight. Um, so this last weekend, well, that Saturday, I went to Home Depot and I got all the parts needed to put in parking stanchions and posts with reflectors on them, and I did it right. I only spent about $100, and 50 of that was the post hole digger. So I got eight. They call them yardscape timbers. They're like an 8 foot timber. So I got no, I got five of those, and I cut them in thirds. So I had 15 pieces. I ended up only using like 10 or 11 of those. Uh, and I sunk them into the ground. After I stained them white because I had some waterproofing stain here. Stained them white, sunk them in the ground, put reflectors on them, and now it looks pretty nice. I'll have pictures of that up on the space as well. Uh, but man, I was so steamed, and it was so confusing because I was like, "Why would you park your car in the yard? And then why are you pushing back so hard on me asking you to move your vehicle from my yard?" Like, I don't get it. And the homeowner ended up getting in the conversation. They got involved in the conversation too, but they're like, well, we have the right of way, and there's an easement, and yada 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 yada. I was like, that still doesn't give you the right to come over here and like put your car in my yard. That easement isn't for your parking pleasure, right? I'm not crazy on this, am I? Anyways, that weekend I put all that in, and I felt like an ass, like just like over everything. There was a bell bean that just walked by. I was just over everything. I was just over it all. So I just wasn't in the mood to do stand up videos. I can feel my blood pressure rising just talking about it again, because like I went out there and there was a dude on he was on top of a tractor, and I was like, "Hey man, let's move these cars." And he said, "Okay." And then I went back and I parked the car, got out, walked over to where the cars were to wait for him to make sure they actually got moved. Because oftentimes I'll ask people to do something and they just they'll do it in their own, when the job's done, that's when they're going to do it, and that's not going to work for me. So the car got moved, and then the dude on the tractor just like bloop 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 bloop, just putzing around. So I had to walk back down to him and be like, "Hey, what's going on, man? How come? these trucks aren't getting moved. And yeah, we it got pretty heated on their side. I want to say I kept a pretty cool demeanor about the whole thing because one, I was twice the size and half the age of everyone that was involved in the whole thing. They were all older people that fit right in that entitled boomer kind of generation, where like I could see why they thought the world was their oyster and they could just do whatever they wanted because I mean why not? They've lived their whole lives that way. What's going to stop them now? So I don't know. Um, I eventually cooled down the couple of people that were like, yeah, well, I wish you would call the cops. I was like, I don't want to call the cops because when the cops come out here, then we just got, guys with guns hanging around, right? And why do we need cops when we can figure this out ourselves? Just move your car. Like, that's the only thing I'm asking you to do. Just move your car. Uh, and one of the trucks moved, and then the other truck, he said he wasn't gonna do it. And he like waved his hand at me. And he did that. He's like, ah, and he like walked away. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll call the non-emergency number, which I think the non-emergency number now just goes to the same place that the 911 goes to. So I don't know, but yeah, a couple of cops came out. They were like, well, they say they only got a couple more minutes of jobs and blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't care about what their situation is. I just know that my situation. I think he's trespassing. Um, and if you can get him to move his truck without actually trespassing this guy from my property, which is where they take the guy's information and officially tell him that he's not welcome to use this property anymore. Um, I said, if you could get him to move without doing that, then fantastic. That's what I want. I think that'd be fantastic. And I think that's what they ended up doing because I never heard anything from it again. And the guy moved his truck. So the small caveat to that whole thing is that they took down a tree and then they left all the debris all along the road, and it's still there a week and a half later. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to someone with the homeowners association now because the city bulk cleanup came by last Friday and they just did not pick up a single piece of it, and it's probably because it's like big, huge pieces of tree. So I don't know. This is probably the third tree service that has done something this stupid. I had another tree service that pulled a tree down from a neighbor's house just to the west of me. And they actually thought they were going to leave all the tree debris in my yard. They were just got the only reason I knew which company it was because I saw like how quickly they were doing everything and how professional they looked. And I was like, I need some trees taken down in my yard. Maybe I should put them on a list to follow up with them. So I was like, all right, cool. Tally trees. I think it was Tally trees. I wrote about this on my own space. But then 6 o'clock rolls around and I'm gonna go meet a buddy for a drink at a local pub and or as a brewery, and I walk outside and there's literally like 6 tons of tree debris sitting in my yard, and I'm like, oh hell no. I actually know who this was, so I called him up, and he felt like entitled just to use my yard to for tree debris. Uh, man, I get so bent out of shape out for this kind of stuff. Like they just think they can just do whatever they want, wherever they want, however they want, without thinking about, hey, you're screwing up someone's yard. You're using their property for your in their case their commercial benefit. Yeah, so this last weekend, 2 days ago, the wife and I went down to the Tallahassee nurseries, which is not babies, that's trees. Uh, so we bought some mondo grass, and I put 36 mondo grass uh, uh, plants into the ground because there's a 40-foot section that I'm most concerned about that is like not well lit. And this stuff is supposed to grow voraciously. Well, it's supposed to spread slowly. And I actually had to ask him, I was like, how slow is slow? Because if I put this stuff in my yard, I don't want to wait 10 years for it to, spread out all over the place. And they said, no, about 2 to 3 years to fill in um, plants that are like a foot across from each other. So it's gonna grow about 2 or 3 inches in area every year. So I was okay with that. And then once that gets in there, I can like border it in so that it doesn't continue to spread. But buddy, uh, so this when we got home from that, I went out there and I was digging the holes for it. Which with that post holer, it went quick. I did like 38 holes in the ground in probably about an hour, and put them all in, and they look great right now, watering them and everything. But as I was doing it, the lady across the street, who I'm pretty sure she was home when I was out having this like conversation, like I wasn't screaming, but the guys I was talking to were yelling a whole lot. So like I don't want to say it was a screaming match because there really wasn't a screaming competition. Every time they would notch it up, I'd be like, "Whoa, hey, we're just talking about this right now. We're not screaming, we're not throwing fists because one, I might kill you if I like push you too hard because you're that old. And two, like there's no reason to get like hot about it. Um, but she had like her yard guy was out doing work at the same time I was planting the plants, and one of them is moving his truck around, and he's like, "Hey man, you're doing a great job over there." Or, no, he said, "Yeah, hey man, you're doing an awesome job." And I was like, "All right, thanks, man." And he says, "Is that the no parking zone?" And I'm like, "It is." So I guess neighbors are talking about me and my crazy antics. So uh, I don't know, man. I just what a stupid hill to die on. But yeah, we got grass going on over there now. The wife put in her raised garden bed, and she's got tomatoes and cucumbers and peas and all sorts of fun stuff growing back there now. And now that I've found out how ridiculously cheap these yardscaping timbers are, I think I might use them in my backyard or something like them to try to level out what's going on back there because there's two spots that I'm most interested in. One is around my deck where the soil is slowly washing out from underneath the foundation, which, yeah, not good. Not what you want. So I'm going to try to get that remediated, and then the entire backyard is sloped, and I'd like to step it so that there's at least like a 40 by 30 section that is flat that you can put a table out there, maybe some chairs, some lights. It'll be nice and homey. It'll be nice. But of course, that all requires money, which I don't have the money because I don't have a full time job right now. The contract stuff is going amazingly. I'm starting to get the actual feel for it. Bella, she stopped. You can see that like her shadow stopped like right there. Bella Bean, come here. So yeah, the contract work is going good. I'm starting to catch stuff that I should be catching, and I'm hopeful that more work will come through that because the work that I'm doing there is pretty interesting. I mean, it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it's interesting enough that I think I could see myself doing this kind of work for quite some time. Um, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, today is it's Monday, and I'm actually not sure what I'm supposed to be doing today. I got a bunch of calendar stuff. Like normally on a Monday, I'd be doing like comic book preview stuff for Star Trek, but no Star Trek books last week. No Star Trek books this week. It's a terrible time to be a Star Trek fan. Uh, oh, Discovery started again, which I watched the first two episodes of that, and it was more of the same. So if you liked the first three seasons of that, what are how it's more of the same stuff. So if you liked it before, you're gonna like this season. If you didn't like it before, you're probably not gonna care for it very much this season because it wears its emotions on its sleeve, and there's a whole lot of like, hey, we're doing really cool stuff, and then It's not really that cool. Although there was one moment where they used two ships to like use their shields to like protect the city from a thing that was happening. That was pretty cool. But in totality, it's not really a good show. Hopefully, we'll get more Strange New Worlds or Lower Decks or Prodigy, or maybe the Section 31 series will end up being good. But I think it's being done by the same people that did Discovery, so maybe not. Um, but I will say, for the first time, probably since I bought this house, both the front yard, the side yard, the other side yard, and the backyard, all four of them, everything outside is raked and well manicured. So if this is what joblessness is like, I can live with this. This kind of work is helping me lose weight, although I seem to be stuck at like 281.4. That's where I've been for the last 2 days. Friday or Saturday, I hit 280, and man, that was a great day. Um, then I promptly ate like an extra breakfast sandwich because we were going out to get all this yard stuff, and wife wanted to go to Bagel Bagel, which is a great place to go eat. Fantastic food, great people there. Um, but yeah, I've got a full calendar today. Maybe I should look at my calendar to see what I'm supposed to be doing. What is today? Today, I got a patron email. Right. Star Trek. Nope, not doing that. Lego. Maybe I'll make a Lego set today. I'll stream the Lego set. That'll be fantastic. You guys will love it. It'll be amazing. I need to decide which set it's going to be. Do I? Can I see sets from here? Or do I have sets down here? No, I have sets down here. So, what do we got? Maybe I could do the one that my brother-in-law gave me, which is Groot. Look at Groot. He's so adorable. He's gonna be bigger than the Venom that I made, so that'll be great. I know the last couple times I made Lego sets, Twitch has like completely like banned my account um, because of completely unrelated things. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Because man, wouldn't that be the icing on the cake? Anyways, I'm already at 15 minutes, so stay awesome and don't park in your neighbor's yard.